It was a quiet afternoon at the office when my phone vibrated insistently, foreboding the urgency of the moment. Upon seeing President's cabinet on the screen, my heart raced. "Isabel Rodriguez?" asked a firm yet friendly voice on the other end of the line. I nodded, though I knew they couldn't see me. "Yes, it's me," I responded, trying to hide my nervousness. "Isabel, we're calling with a special request from the President. He has been observing your work and is impressed. However, he believes your current image might send the wrong message due to your apparent youth," explained the voice, in a tone that tried to be comforting. My mind raced. My image? My apparent youth? I had always considered my long, chestnut hair an essential part of who I was, a reflection of my freedom and young spirit. The President suggests an image change, something more mature. He believes a new haircut could help you project the seriousness and professionalism that your position demands, the voice continued. The proposal took me by surprise. Changing my appearance based on a suggestion, even if well-intentioned, was something I needed to consider. "And if I refuse?" I asked, trying to weigh my options. There was a pause, and then the reply came, loaded with implicit diplomacy. "Isabel, it's just a suggestion, but one that we believe would benefit both your career and the public perception of our team." The call ended with details about image consultants and salon recommendations. I hung up, feeling torn between loyalty to my authentic self and the opportunity to advance in my career. Looking at my reflection in the office mirror, my long hair looked back at me, a cascade of memories and freedom. But I also saw what the President saw, a young woman in a position of power whose appearance might be misconstrued. That's when I made up my mind. If an image change was necessary to align my exterior with the maturity and capability I knew I possessed, I was willing to consider it. "I'll do it," I murmured to myself, a mix of resolution and nervousness. This would be the first step toward a new stage in my life, a cut that would symbolize much more than just a simple aesthetic transformation. Upon entering the salon, the first thing that struck me wasn't the smell of dye and hairspray, but the sight of my stylist. She sported a bold cut that screamed confidence, upper locks dyed in a fiery red, contrasting with the sides and back of her head, shaved close, revealing the pale skin beneath. Her cut was a statement, a cry of individuality that immediately made me wonder if I could carry something like that. She took my coat with a reassuring smile and wrapped me in a shiny robe. "A gin and tonic, please," I murmured, rejecting the coffee she offered. I needed something strong. The President had suggested that my long, youthful hair didn't match the responsibility I held. Sitting in the chair, my reflection showed me nervous, the image of my chestnut hair down to my waist about to change forever. As she prepared my drink, my stylist praised the health of my hair, running her fingers through its length. With each word of encouragement, she gradually convinced me that a pixie cut was what I needed, a radical change, a new me. The scissors rose, capturing the first lock of my long hair. The stylist handled them with skill that inspired confidence, thus beginning the ceremony of my transformation. Each cut was precise, each lock falling like a shed petal, marking the beginning of my metamorphosis. One by one, the thick layers of my hair were removed. They glided softly through the air before landing on the floor, forming a mound of what I once was. It was a cathartic process, stripping away my old identity. The sound of the scissors cutting through my hair mixed with the soft hum of the salon. With each cut, I felt my past fading away, making room for the new me that was emerging. It was a silent goodbye to the woman I had been. As the layers fell to the floor, I could feel the weight of the years sliding off my shoulders. Each lock that touched the ground carried with it memories, decisions, and moments of my life. It was a release, a step forward on my personal journey. Then, the clippers took over. Their buzz was constant, a sound that soon became the soundtrack of my boldness. The stylist handled them adeptly, ensuring each pass was perfect. She started at my nape, moving the clippers up through the sides of my head. The sensation was strange but liberating, as if with each pass, I was shedding a version of myself I no longer needed. The clippers vibrated against my skin, a new and somewhat intimidating sensation. However, there was something deeply freeing about feeling the machine so close. It was as if with each movement, it cut the ties to my old self. As she worked, the stylist left a fringe, a connection to my femininity and a reminder that this change was mine to control. This fringe would become my new plaything, my new form of expression. "You look magnificent," said the stylist, a comment that resonated in the air with sincerity. Her hands never stopped moving, adjusting, cutting, perfecting. She was an artist, and my hair, her canvas. She used various techniques to add texture and life to my fringe. Thinning scissors, point cutting, each playing its part in the creation of my new self. It was fascinating to watch her work, to see how each tool had its purpose. The wash that followed was a ritual of purification. Hot water ran over my head, taking away the last remnants of my old hair. I closed my eyes, letting myself be carried away by the sensation, by the moment of renewal I was experiencing. The drying and styling were the final steps of this journey. The sound of the dryer was like a wind of change, and each brush stroke was a line towards my future. It was a meditative process, a moment to reflect on the transformation I was undergoing. When I opened my eyes and met my reflection, the impact was profound. The woman looking back at me was new, different. Her hair, now a pixie with character, framed a face full of possibilities. My reflection showed me a woman transformed, not just in appearance, but in essence. Uncertainty had given way to renewed confidence, a firmness in who I was and who I could be. The smile that the mirror returned to me was that of someone who had embraced change, who had welcomed it. It wasn't just a new style I saw in that reflection, but the beginning of a new chapter in my life. The woman who had feared change now celebrated it, with a cut that was a statement of confidence and maturity, without losing the spark of youth that had always been part of me. As I left the salon, the evening air caressed my bare neck. Each step I took was more confident than the last, and I knew this new cut, an echo of my stylist's radical style, was just the beginning of my new era. Until next time, I said, as my stylist bid me farewell with a smile that reflected my own transformation. The next day, the dawnlight filtered through the windows of my apartment, bathing the room in a soft and promising glow. Today was not just any day, it was the day of my first press conference as a spokesperson after my haircut. I dressed carefully, choosing a suit that complemented my new style, sophisticated yet with a touch of boldness. In front of the mirror, I rehearsed my speech, but my reflection surprised me with its image. The short hair framed my face with determination, projecting the image of maturity and professionalism suggested by the president. Upon arriving at the press conference venue, the murmur of reporters and cameras getting ready created a buzz of anticipation. I took a deep breath, feeling the freshness of my exposed nape, and headed to the podium. The first questions were about policies and the president's agenda, but it wasn't long before a personal question broke the flow. Isabel, your new look is quite striking. Do you think your image change will affect how your message is perceived? I smiled, prepared for this question. I believe an image change can refresh not only how we look but also how we're perceived by others. My commitment to my work and my ability to effectively communicate the president's agenda remains my priority, I answered confidently. The press conference continued, and with each question, I felt more in my element, my new haircut becoming a symbol of my personal and professional evolution. Some of the headlines dedicated to me were: Isabel Rodriguez debuts new look at the press conference after the council meeting. Isabel's pixie cut, more than an image change, a sign of new times in the cabinet. The president's spokesperson surprises with radical change, professionalism and style. Isabel Rodriguez, from long to pixie, reflecting the maturity of her role. These headlines summarized not only the initial surprise at my transformation but also the recognition that behind the change was a thoughtful strategy, an adaptation to a role that demanded seriousness without losing the essence of who I am. The press conference not only marked my debut as a spokesperson but also the beginning of a new stage where my external image reflected my inner strength and determination.